Where my ladies at? Today it was you. Any LGBTQ plus out there? How about contraceptive users? Where you all at? You're up next on the Supreme Court's hit list. My name is Matt Stevens, and this is your Matt Minute in Politics. I'm going to get right to the point. I'm sure by now you have heard that Roe versus Wade was struck down by the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. So that is almost 50-year decision that enshrined a woman's right to have a safe legal abortion in any of the 50 states in the United States, right? So what does that mean now? That means that that decision on abortion now goes to all 50 states to make their own individual decisions about whether or not a woman or any birthing people can have a safe abortion in that particular state, okay? As of right now, it looks like about 13 of the 50 states are going to completely outlaw most forms of abortion. That is an ongoing changing number, but stick with me, okay? I'm getting to a point here. So I'm not going to go through all the details because there's been one question that keeps coming up, and I wanted to talk with you all about this very quickly. And people ask, well, what is next? Like I said, there will be some states where you can have an abortion, but that right will not be as universal as it has been. Horrible, okay? What do we do about it? The non-sexy answer is voting. I know you weren't expecting that. I know that's not what you wanted to hear. I know that's not the fluffy, cute responses that you're looking for, but I'm here to tell you the truth. It is voting. One of the justices that voted to overturn Roe, as well as the sitting president of the United States, both today agreed with me in that that is the next step of what we need to do. Now, why is that important? It's story time. Follow me really quick, and then I'm turning off this camera, okay? Back in 2016, Trump was elected president by running a major disinformation campaign with a foreign government, right? So he was elected with the help of 3 states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and those votes were really close. And that disinformation campaign swayed some of the votes to elect him to office, okay? Donald Trump, while he was in office for one term, one unsuccessful term, had not one, but 3 chances to put people on the Supreme Court. The Congress that supported him allowed him to do that, and he sat 3 justices on that court. By 2020, of course, we know he lost the election. What was the first legislative thing that Donald Trump and his ilk either pushed for or did after the 2020 election, you say? They restricted access to voting in certain states. They made it harder to vote. They cracked down on early voting, absentee voting, the hours, the ID requirements, all of those different things. Why did they do that? Because they know that your vote counts, okay? So take it forward. That was in 2021. Take it forward to 2022, which is today, June the 24th. Lo and behold, the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. Well, how did they do that? Well, 33% of the 9 justices that sit on the Supreme Court were nominated and confirmed under Donald Trump. Okay, remember, go back to that 2016 election that I don't believe that he won fairly because he was running a disinformation campaign with a foreign government, but they suppressed votes in 2016. That plays out 5.5 years later when you have the Supreme Court. Remember, 33% of the justices were nominated and confirmed while Trump was in office, okay? So there is a direct connection between who you're voting for and the outcomes in cases like this, okay? How did this whole case get started this time? Because they always tried to overturn Roe, but how did this particular time get started? There was a case in Mississippi in 2018. Mississippi is a conservative state. They worked that case. Somebody went against that ruling. It went through the courts. It made its way up to the Supreme Court, and ta-da, here we are. Now, Roe versus Wade has been overturned after almost 50 years of a ruling that has sat in this country. And now we are going to need to mobilize, mass protesting, showing up to the polls, state, local, of course, federal elections matter. We have a Congress that is not representative of the people. We have a majority of people in polling did not want Roe overturned, but somehow Roe got overturned. Well, if the legislative branch is the way that we fix this, how do we address that? Well, there are gerrymandered districts in the House. We're going to have to vote our way through that. we're going to have to provide some level of consequence, electoral consequence, for people who are not following the will of the people. That's a really quick way of me saying that, but people, voting matters. And if we're going to clean up women's reproductive rights, if we're going to enshrine LGBTQ plus rights in this country, contraceptive, whatever the issue may be, it's looking more and more like it's going to require a legislative solution. And the only way to do that is through voting. So I've taken up enough of your time. I'm definitely going to hit on this point again later, but I just needed to tell you that. My name is Matt Stevens, of course. This has been your Matt Minute in Politics. All my social media information is in the lower left-hand corner of this video. Hang in there, y'all.